Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 3v3 for you guys today on Mudfight. Pretty common map for 3v3s, and I quite enjoy it. Tends to be 1 to 2 in Delta, 1 on each side in Foxtrot, and I'm taking Scandinavia, which means a lot of good infantry fighting vehicles, and a couple fast vehicles, even though maybe they're not my favorite in terms of performance, but hey. 2 frontal armor on that fast vehicle is not terrible. So, we have an HKP 4C going forward, Scout Defender also moving up, and then with the main column here, our ally USA player. Not going to try that name there. We also have a couple of STRVs and some Laro 106mm recoilless rifle jeeps. There's a big push right off the bat from Ouroboros, and it's a lot of attack helicopters, a lot of Mi-8 MTVs, and even a Mi-24D dropping off infantry here, and that was pretty terrifying. I didn't have enough anti-air in this opening engagement, in part because I was relying on my allies' Chaparral, which does get a couple of nice shots in. And over on the left-hand side, we will have an Israeli player with a relatively small amount of games, something like, I think, 50-60 games on Sam the Ram there, going against ACDV. He's making a return to the channel as an opponent for the second time in a short period. Now, Ouroboros does have a large column going up here, but STRVs are made for this, 15 rounds per minute on a relatively strong main tank gun, and they will get some good shots in. Also, the M8 AGS and the M1A2 Abrams just destroying BTR-70s by the bucket load, but it won't be enough to stop them entirely from getting into that town, so we do have to be on the lookout for that. And my own infantry was going to come up here, but with the helicopter rush being how it was, and even things like, Syria and other stuff, I didn't feel confident about it, and I wanted to make sure that my men would live. So, nice shot from the Chaparral does clear out a Sokol, and my Fallskirmjäger, Stormer, Dragoner, and all of this are moving through the woods. This is not what you want to do. It'll take a really long time to get there, but it's what we had. Block 15 coming in, but not able to clear out enemy planes, and we do have a couple of beginning engagements over on the side. 3D Baz is one hell of a tank. This is 180 points, one of the best tanks in the entire game. The hot ATGMs, as well as just a truly terrifying main tank gun and frontal armor, do pretty good work. Jalos, meanwhile, were reasonably effective for ACDV, but, well, only until they ran into a double stack of Merkaba 1s. So, Hornet coming in and looking for that T-72BU does get a kill, and that is a really expensive tank as well, 175 points, so nice use off the Hornet. And Ito 90 is trying to answer, but it looks like we are able to get away. Alpha has been capped, that will give our opponents a +1, as my own cap and Charlie is competing with theirs in Foxtrot and Alpha, and we're still staging things here. So my ally in the center has taken an absolute pounding. The Chinese player and Ouroboros have been kind of teaming up on him a little bit, and I'm, well, not contributing as much as I should, although the STRVs did some good work, the recoilless rifle jeeps did some good work, and we will be doing quite a lot once we get over into Alpha and start getting secure. So he was actually pinging me at the time going, hey, go, 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 go. We did also get a kill on the Block 15. Well, no, this first one I think he did get out, but we at least damaged the bomber coming in there. We'll take a look on the left over in a second, but NM45s are shooting in, trying to get the MI2, and Gorno Strelki were actually shooting in from this side, so not a very common pick. Gorno Strelki, particularly Gorno Strelki 90, they're very, very expensive, don't tend to do very well in infantry-to-infantry fights, but I mean, Alpha might be a niche that they work pretty well in. They're even better than the sort of recoilless rifle 1200 or so meter range sorts of units that you'll see. 26 AP power is just really, really good, but they get absolutely melted by CV9030Ns and Stormer, and in the side here we have Kartenjägeri, Panzerjägeri dealing with Fallskirmjäger XA186NOs and a double stack of Dragoners that are moving forward. But this is the thing about Kartenjägeri, they are not the best against armor, and the M113Gs, even just 2 frontal armor, are able to rip their way through these guys, and meanwhile our little bit of rinky-dink air support is getting some nice work done. We have lost one of the STRV 103Ds, and that is really unfortunate. ATGMs in this town, so very grateful for the smoke cover from my ally. T-72S is a big problem, but I mean, if we get the first shot in, might be able to take him out, just rate of fire. Hornet coming in, steals the kill and gets away. I have no complaints there, though. That was going to be a risky engagement anyway. I'm not really sure we could have gotten that. But my B-can is also opening up, so this guy I've had since the beginning of the match. Probably shouldn't have. But hey, I mean, live and learn. So we have Jägeri 90 that are moving up and around, trying to do a screening action, Jägeri that are trying to go around as well into Alpha. I often find if you send someone around the sides, if your opponent's not expecting it, can do a lot of good work. So we're taking advantage of our success here, pushing Dragoner forward, pushing the M113Gs forward. We're a little bit light on stuff, so I'm calling in some more reinforcements, and we're going to be filling out this section of the map, even just a bit more than we have right now. But never stop when you think your opponent is weak. Just take the ground, make them fight you back for it. Even if you lose a little bit of a position, oftentimes the exploit here is worth it. These guys, of course, 40 points total, very, very cheap. But those MG3s can definitely mess up some Gordon Strelke at close range. We'll take a look back in there in a second. The left side here from Sam the Ram has been pretty much, well and truly destroyed by ACDV, as well as the Chinese player here who has moved one of his tanks over to support. So a lone 3D Baz, which is never what you want to have. These tanks are only as strong as their support, and right now he doesn't have the optics to be that effective. But the fight is on. We have identified briefly some anti-air for my opponent right here in ISO 86. Not exactly a super high value target, just 25 points, but I mean, Iglas are very powerful, and I want that thing gone. So Jägeri, another mistake on my part here. I should have turned off the tertiary, and I do that in just a second. As, yeah, I think I noticed... Ooh, took a little while then. Yep, there it is. There it goes. Tertiary's off. We're trying to get the secondary weapon online, but helicopters are answering, and these guys are just screening out my Dragoner pretty well. So, I mean, this is what I was saying earlier. We're fighting okay. There's Gorno Strelke here, 15 points. The Dragoner's 10, but MI-24D is ending my ambitions there. Still, we got the 25-point AA piece, and here come the reinforcements. Very, very deadly Scandinavian infantry in fast transport. So the pressure will be on, automatic moving up as well. I knew I needed to have some sort of answer to all of these helicopters, but honestly the NM45, the triple stack there, down to just one surviving unit, did pretty well, better than I really had expected. And the BCAN is constantly being targeted forward, trying to take advantage of moving my forward infantry and getting line of sight on my opponents. So if I can stun and kill some of these BTRs, hey, that's a win. Jägeri are hiding from the Mi-8T-KT, and they will be moving around more later on, but Jägeri 90 taking the long road are going just even farther away. I don't really want them fighting here, I just want them going around. So we have now arrived XA-186s in the center, and Jägeri 90 are going to be moving up. Just should crunch right through the BTR-70, and there they do. So we have the second unit there, and let's take a look. Unfortunately, things have been a bit rough. There's an M1A2 Abrams back here from my US ally, and a Patriot, Bradley, CFV, and, well, more stuff is coming out, but right now this looks pretty grim. There's Nakula on the left dealing with some Machbets. I think did actually get one kill, but Machbet gets revenge, and that is an expensive loss. But we have basically no recon. We have very few heavy tanks and support left in the center, and that means that even though I'm having some success in Alpha, 1, it might have come too late, and 2, we're going to get double teamed. So Ouroboros and the Chinese player focusing a lot of attention here, and that's only going to increase as things die down and sort of steady out in Delta and Foxtrot. F-15D Eagle coming in, and this was a beautiful, beautiful bombing run, trying to clear out that entire town, even specialist infantry in the back. And you can see my Fallskirmjäger, my XA-186s are not stopping. We have Factoria weapons team there that gets taken out by the 186, and the Mi-8T-KT gets too close to an NM45. The reason it's not shooting, by the way, it turns out there were back-to-back ammo crits on this guy, which was really kind of satisfying. So he had no rocket pods left, he had even no autocannon ammunition left, and the automatic steals the kill. So Fallskirmjäger, one group unfortunately killed by a double stack of Mi-8 MTVs. You really have to watch out for that. My STRV down to 9 shots is still pushing forward, a little bit blind here. I wish he wasn't, but the Dragoner moving over for that purpose, trying to lead the way, and the other infantry have gotten around. So we're making good progress here, but reinforcements are coming in hot and heavy from the Red 4 team. BTR-70s carrying a lot of infantry, disembarked here a little bit far up, and I could actually see this going on, so I'm targeting right now the BCAN on this formation, so once this volley is done, that should be retargeted. But I don't know, it might be a little bit too late. You see the Gorno Strelke already moving, BTR-70s are very quick as well, so this was just a staging ground. But the fact that we're seeing their staging ground is nice. You can hit it, you can shoot at it, you can take it into account and adapt your own plan accordingly. So zooming back out, there has been a nice defensive position here from Sam the Ram, just holding on that side of the field. T-72 M1 mod spotted from the Chinese player. That's an incredibly high-value target, so immediate response here from the Bradleys. They want their TOW2s online, but smoke cover is very nice. It takes care of that. This was brutal, so the Fallskirmjäger 90, they have enough AP on the Erixes to kill the infantry inside of these XA-180s. The Chinese player bringing reinforcements up into the fight doesn't actually get them in because, well, yeah, Eric's. They'll do that to you. So we do also spot the command vehicle here, BTR at 70k, but it's a bit tricky. So my Dragoner getting killed in the open, STRV down to 9 shots, does have to get that gun online before it can do any good. And some Stormer were unfortunately taken out a little bit in the open ground here. CV9030N trying to answer, and they might be able to, but distracted by BTR 70. I want them shooting at the T-55s, and unfortunately they don't until a little bit too late. Also nice support coming in from the town as well as Gornostrelki here, so I do lose those relatively expensive, relatively usually cost-effective vehicles, but T-72 taken out by the MLU, and that's a beautiful, beautiful kill. Actually the second kill right in a row, so that 125 point tank here was not the first. We got the mod as well right there in the center. It's in one of the highlight reels I put up recently on Discord and Patreon, so see those links down below the video if you're interested in that sort of thing. And we did also have the second kill right there, so beautiful shot. We did lose the MLU, but honestly, 2 tanks for 1 plane, sometimes worth it. Clears out the center of the board a little bit better. And this has just turned into a mosh pit. So Fallskirmjäger fighting in the open field, a little bit unsupported, and the Raskazin Kurima pick is one that I really like. So those musty recoilless rifles get the range that they need, assisted by BMP-1s to just destroy Fallskirmjäger. That otherwise, if I had made it into these woods, we were home free. The Spetsnaz Gru probably would have been stopped there. The BTR 70k probably would have been stopped there. My mistake was attack moving these guys earlier instead of just saying get over there, get out of the open ground, and well, try to stay alive. So STRV is moving back. He's used all of his main tank guns. We do have some resupply here, but it's a little bit too late to help that beforehand. Fighting Falcon coming in. I'm trying to punish the Raskazin Kurima, and we do get a couple of kills there, but the rest has to pull back as Ouroboros and the Chinese player are both just double teaming this position in Alpha. In the meantime, a Nun, a brave single Nun moving up here. He's probably scouting for ATGMs. You see this relatively often. It's a 5-point vehicle. You don't care if it lives or dies. It's not actually going to help you in any other way, and it can tell you various things. 1, there's a T-64. 2, this Mi-8 MTV no longer has full ammunition. 3, Merkava 3D Baz is now able to get that first shot online and really damage the T-64 BM. 1 shot, 2 shot, there's the kill. T-72 BU is now unsupported, so not a fight that he wants to take. Even with the first shot, I would wager, you know, ooh, looks like that was a fire computer reset, so the Merkava 3D needs to get the hell out of there right now. 5% chance to hit against the T-72's 84. So that is pretty rough, and the fighting has died down in Alpha as I pulled back a little bit. Stormer moving up just to make sure that we can hold this position in the woods, not to actually push any further right now. This is the inverse. This is, I've pushed forward, I've grabbed a bit more ground than we could have had, but now I'm a little bit weak. I need some things to go up there, and they are on their way, but BTR 90 has made it all the way back here, threaded right through my defense, went up around the far side, and I didn't see him until just then. So double scout defender trying to take this guy out. Relatively fragile armor, but I mean, 3 armor is still pretty nice. ACDV also left the game, not really entirely sure why. I mean, our opponents are up 138 points to 30, they just had an infiltration, it killed my beacon, so some of the fire support there is offline, and there was otherwise, I mean, a fair amount of good stuff going on here. We've made up a bit of ground in Delta, but not a ton, and the Alpha fight is far from settled. Stormer sparring with Gornostrelki, Raskazin Kurima, these guys don't want to be that close, and the Stormer's Carl Gustav M2s will kill all of the BTRs that get that far forward. F-15D Eagle going in, trying to get some more cheeky kills. We did also spot some AA, so an Igla team and then an Ito 90 over on that side, and unfortunately the F-15 Eagle is taken out. So CV9030Ns, this was a bit of a mistake on my part. We got a nice kill there, but I leave them on this side. I should be moving them in and around and through, where that kinetic gun on the Bushmaster 2 can really take advantage of short range. Dragoner do unfortunately die, and we are going to be pulling back yet again as more of my reinforcements are headed up and into that section. So on this side, the 3B is still holding somehow. I was kind of surprised that he hadn't been killed by an ATGM plane. Maybe, I mean, I don't think he had anyway. This is what the results of a Smirch are, by the way. So both of these Merkavas taken out by a Smirch, and just the entire section of trees kind of flattened. So brutal artillery piece, the Smirch, not something you want to really mess around with. And we can see all of these vehicles are coming in. Ouroboros is pushing forward with more and more and more reinforcements, and I've been unable to really lock this down. So an ATGM team here would have been pretty nice, and that is going to be coming soon, but maybe not quite in time. Bomber coming in, and this will draw an answer, hopefully from the Patriot. It looks like he's out of missiles, and Syria 30 is able to get a couple of shots off. Down goes one of my allies' tanks, and there he goes away. And now here's my answer with Block 15 going in, originally for the Syria, but then he's out, and that's going to be going after the seaplane. One shot, two shot, down he goes. And the Block 15 turning to the right before evac ordered to try and make that escape a bit more possible. Fighting Falcon was also evac ordered. That probably shouldn't have been, but I wanted to make sure he didn't have the MiG stick around or target that guy instead. So, T-72M1 mod taking out my CV-90s, and this was, again, just capitalizing on that mistake earlier, where instead of protecting them, moving around this side, keeping them close to Stormer that can screen for enemy infantry, they get taken out, and this is looking pretty thin. I mean, yeah, Alpha's counter-capped, Delta's capped now, so we're actually ticking at a +1, trying to make up some ground, but my forces are fighting for their lives, and look at all of this stuff. Ouroboros, just, I mean, geez, triple stack of T-72 M1 Wilkes, 90 points each. That is not cheap. Double stack of Strellas, more of these guys. Of course, with the third player having left the battlefield, things are a bit more lopsided now, so each one of the remaining Red 4 players gets double availability and an increased, compared to each one of us anyway, income. This is conquest, not destruction, so that's constant, and now it's constantly increased from where it was. And I actually lose my Stormer and lose the 4 position altogether. So an STRV and an automatic are trying to hold as Dragoner go up to screen, and the automatic actually gets some nice kills. These are the 30-point transports for Soviets, and you can see this guy is, well, unhappy. I think that sums that up pretty perfectly. The automatic got the kill, not even the STRV, and all of that ammunition has been refilled by the couple of Scanias. My infantry is getting here, my ally here in the center with the USA player is getting a couple nice shots, one of the Wilkes goes down, and we have another MiG-29 coming forward, not quite drawing a response, and it's a shame the Patriot wasn't reloaded a bit earlier. I think the Hempt here might have gotten stopped by some of the tomfoolery over on the right-hand side here, but triple stack of T-55 AMs, these guys, 40 points, I really kind of don't have that much experience using them. I just pick other things when I play Soviets, but honestly, if not for the relatively shorter range, 2100 meter range, this would be pretty wonderful. 50% accuracy is very nice, 13 AP power is very nice, 9 frontal armor is very nice, but you could have a higher range and a lower AP and it would work out the math a little bit same, plus a better firing angle. STRV is fending things off, BTR-90s going down by the dozen. We actually killed a Pion there as well, and now we're ready for yet another counterattack. That T-72 is a little too close. If I can get infantry up and to the side, we can get that kill. It doesn't really matter how heavy that tank is. Enough AT weapons to the face will get the job done. In the meantime, my Jaeger 90 have taken out a Smerch here in the background, or no, that looks like an Uragan. Ooh, that's kind of embarrassing, but I think that's an Uragan. So we'll have to see. And we also captured a FOB, and this was actually a mistake. I didn't realize the FOB was there. I had them go up and around and back, and capturing the FOB immediately draws fire. This guy, Ouroboros, looks like he has his stuff on auto fire at enemy logistics, so he's currently killing his own FOB. But he has to know what's going on here. I mean, there's no way. And BTR 88s are immediately called out. These guys stopped and shooting at my Jaeger 90, and that's going to be a very quick, very painful death. But hey, we got them to kill their own FOB. Technically counted as my loss, but I mean, hey, that works for me. STRV 121 moving forward, trying to anchor this formation, but I'm a little bit worried about the Gornostrelki. And I also have RBS 56 that we're trying to make sure that we didn't get pushed by Wilkes or even just the 40-point tanks through this side. We also do need more recon, so Scout Defenders coming out, and the Block 15 gets another kill before having to engage the MiG-29 again. One shot, two shot, it looks like one hit on the Block 15. That's where that ECM value, 30%, not crazy, but certainly sufficient, does come in. And I only wish I still had my MLU. There's T-72S right here, T-72 mod right there. That's why even though we did get 2 kills off on the first run, it's always better to get out alive and to have that plane survive for another time. So I only had 1, now I have 0. But you can see Fallschirmjäger moving up, M113Gs moving up, Dragoner moving up as well. These guys are taking a bit of fire, and that's certainly very painful, but we're getting some Strellas in return. Each one of these guys, of course, is 45 points. So, you know, if you're going to kill my Dragoner, not even killing an entire group, and I get to shoot some Strellas, yeah, I'm fine with that. T-72 reversing, trying to get out of danger here, but the Fallschirmjäger have wonderful range. 2 shots, 1 kill. There you go. That's all you need to do to make sure that no tanks can handle an infantry-heavy zone. VMF spotted, and these guys are very, very tricky. They're one of those sniper teams, 2 men, very hard to encounter, but Dragoner even just Dragoner can take him out. Pretty good cost as well. Automatics moving up, trying to screen, and these are full MI8 MTVs. These are fresh reinforcements from Ouroboros, and they're all taken down before they can even land. Automatics and the Chaparral using some of his last missiles, trying to get the kill there, and stunned. 2 of them killed, 2 of them still remaining. Might not be able to quite get it, and wow, that was a lot of mortar fire. Damn. So my RBS are being moved forward here. We're trying to discourage the tanks, the XA-180s on this side, and if we have line of sight, that should be pretty good. Chaparral actually looks like it's taking fire from those mortars. A little bit odd, but such is life. And this is probably a big surprise. So the Chinese player inherited most of the units over here from ACDV and didn't really do all that much with them while he was trying to fight me off in Alpha. And because of that, our ally Sam the Ram himself, with his Israeli deck, has been able to slowly and surely push through until this became a problem that they did have to deal with. And at that point, the Chinese player leaves the game knowing, well, Foxtrot is blown through. It's actually capped right now for us as well. And that puts us back on a +1 with almost 10 minutes left in the match. Pretty even scores as well, and I can't imagine they're going to be holding this for very long. So Fallskirmjäger taken out by some MI8 MTVs. That really sucks. Again, that's just kind of awful. But these guys, 35 points each, and the second that automatic gets online, that will be returning the favor very, very quickly. And I mean, there's not too many places that command vehicle can be. This is a short-lived cap for the Red 4 team. And yeah, I mean, things are looking pretty thin here, but I have more RBS, I have Jaeger 90, I have Dragoner, I have more on the way, and that's going to prompt a surrender from the Red 4 team. So, very nicely played to everyone. Many thanks to Sam the Ram and my other ally who's playing as the US deck. Overall kills and losses 63-70 to 52-75. Slightly favored in our direction, but I think I was... yeah, we were all slightly positive. I went about 800 points positive, and then the Chinese player was a captain and a very capable player, almost managed to salvage a positive game when his allies were having a rougher time. I don't really count ACDV because he surrendered before the going got tough. So, STRV 103Ds with a wonderful kill list. I wanted to show you guys this one. I mean, over a page off that 90-point tank, and it's not even cheap stuff. I mean, there's a Pion that's 75 points, KTs are 20, BTR 70s are 15, BTR 90s are 30, Spetsnaz Gru, all of that, single tank, very, very valuable, very, very worth it. One of my favorite knife fighters. It's expensive for a knife fighter, right? Like, if you lose that 90-point tank in the woods, that's going to suck. But, on the other hand, the sheer rate of fire you can get from 1 or 2 of these guys is very impressive. Other units that did well, all the Fallskirmjäger 90. Fallskirmjäger 90 did very well, and the automatic with a bunch of helicopter kills and actually some direct fire on BTR 90s and Motostrelky 90 as well. MLU, T-72 M1 mod, and a T-72S. And my only regret is that he died. So, yeah, well, that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.